There is a particular kind of arrogance that does not shout. It smiles, it toasts, it calls itself progress. And when it finally collapses, it does so in perfect manners, quietly, politely, like a gentleman who refuses to admit he is bleeding. You, listening now, may think the Titanic was a tragedy of ice and steel, but that is the childish explanation, the convenient one. The more frightening truth is this. The Titanic was a confession, written in electric light, signed by pride, and sealed with cold water. Picture it, a floating city, a palace that moved as if the sea were merely a carpet rolled out for human ambition. Inside, warmth. Inside, music. Inside, the soft tyranny of comfort, where people forget that the universe is not obligated to be kind. And outside? Outside is the dark, the enormous dark, the kind of dark that makes a man suddenly remember he has a soul, and that it may be heavier than his body. The night is calm, almost insultingly calm. No storm, no warning. The sea lies smooth, as a polished lie, and the ship glides forward with the serene confidence of someone who has never been contradicted. That confidence? Oh, it is not made of steel. It is made of belief, of advertisement, of whispered assurances exchanged like money. Unsinkable. Do you hear the word? Unsinkable. Whenever a human being insists on such a word, the world prepares a correction. Down below, in the third class, life is cramped and honest. Laughter is real there because it has to fight for space. There are children, there are tired faces, there are hands that do not pretend they were born to be clean. People share benches, share breath, share the close heat of bodies. Their happiness is not polished, it is earned. Above them, in the first class, happiness is displayed like jewelry. It is selected, curated, it is worn. There, sorrow is considered vulgar. There, even anxiety must be dressed properly. You see, the Titanic does not merely carry passengers, it carries a hierarchy of human worth, neatly arranged as if the ocean were an obedient servant. And yet, the ocean, like conscience, has a way of rising. At first, the catastrophe arrives as a whisper, a small tremor, a polite interruption, a sound like someone dragging a fingernail along the underside of the world. People glance up from their champagne, they tilt their heads, some even smile, because nothing is more comforting than dismissing danger. A waiter reassures, a gentleman adjusts his cuff, a lady laughs too brightly. How familiar it is, this human instinct to keep the mask in place, even as the face begins to crack beneath it. Then comes the explanation. It's nothing, it's under control. Under control. Those words have escorted more souls into the grave than any assassin. But the truth is already inside the ship, and it does not care about etiquette. Water does not negotiate. Water does not admire wealth. Water does not respect titles. Water simply enters, patiently, steadily, as if it has all the time in the world. And it does. It always does. Somewhere deep in the belly of the ship, men see it first. Not the society people, not the ones who speak in graceful metaphors, but the workers, the ones whose hands know reality by touch. They feel the cold, unnatural dampness. They see it glint under electric light. They understand, with that immediate clarity the poor often possess, this is serious. Fear begins as a private sensation, a dryness in the mouth, a quickening of the heart. Then it becomes contagious. And suddenly, the ship, which felt like a world, feels like a room with too many people and not enough air. You think you know panic? Panic is not screaming. Panic is the moment a man realizes the truth and still must pretend, for 5 more minutes, that he does not. Up on the deck, the air bites. The stars are indifferent. The ocean looks endless, like a judge who does not blink. The cold is not merely cold, it is moral. It feels like a verdict placed on the skin. And still, the orchestra plays. Yes, this detail, repeated so often, has become almost sentimental.
But think of it without romance. Imagine it as the final illusion of order, music trying to discipline chaos. The violin insists, "We are civilized," while the sea quietly replies. Now the lifeboats. This is where the Titanic stops being a story about a ship and becomes a story about people. A lifeboat is a small stage where the human soul reveals its weight. Who gets in? Who decides? Who speaks loudly enough to be heard? Who is silenced politely? Who is pushed back with a gentle hand that means die quietly? Women and children first, they say, as if a phrase can scrub the conscience clean. And for some, it is true. There is courage. There is sacrifice. A man steps back. A woman clutches a child and weeps without sound. A stranger pulls another stranger up by the arm. For a moment, humanity appears, fragile, flickering, stubborn as a candle in wind. But then the other humanity appears too. The humanity that bargains. The humanity that lies. The humanity that demands exceptions. A rich man offers money as if money could bribe the ocean. A proud man refuses a boat because pride is all he has left. A terrified man pretends to be calm because he cannot bear to be seen as weak. And a weak man becomes suddenly strong, cruelly strong, because fear has handed him a weapon. Do not flatter yourself.
Do not say. In the moment when death becomes practical, when it becomes stairs, doors, minutes, most of us discover our morals are not made of marble. They are made of wax. Below decks, doors become destiny. There are gates, there are corridors, there are signs, there are rules that once seemed reasonable. But now, every rule is a knife. People pound on barriers. People shout in languages that do not translate quickly enough. Children cry. Mothers call names that will never answer. This is not a grand tragedy with heroic music. This is an administrative tragedy. It is paperwork turned into drowning. And all the while, the ship continues its slow, astonishing transformation, from palace to prison. A ship is a promise. It carries you somewhere. But when it begins to die, it becomes something else, a moral laboratory, a confessional, a tribunal. Everyone is forced to reveal what they love, what they fear, what they truly believe in when comfort is stripped away. The angle of the deck changes, not violently at first, almost politely. People feel it in their knees, in their stomachs. And then, with that strange human ability to normalize horror, they adjust. They laugh nervously, they hold railings tighter, they keep walking, as if walking could keep the world stable. But the world does not care about your balance. The water rises. The ship groans. Metal begins to complain like an old sinner trying to deny his age. The lights flicker. Each flicker feels like a question. How long? In the first-class lounges, some still speak as if dignity can be preserved by tone. In the third-class corridors, dignity is no longer a concept. It is simply breath. And now, the cold becomes absolute. When people touch the sea, it is not like touching water. It is like touching death's own skin. The body understands immediately. You cannot live here. The mind follows behind, screaming, bargaining, praying. Yes, praying. In moments like this, even the proud begin to use old words. But the sky remains silent. And the silence is not cruelty. It is something worse. Indifference. Indifference feels like a door that will not open no matter how gently you knock. The ship's final minutes are not cinematic. They are humiliating. It is the slow stripping away of illusion, layer by layer. The illusion of safety, the illusion of class, the illusion of control. And when it finally happens, when the structure gives in, when the great body of the ship breaks as if its spine has snapped, there is a sound that does not belong to any human language. It is the sound of a man's pride being crushed into physics. Then, darkness. Not poetic darkness, real darkness. The kind where you cannot find your own hand. The kind where screams sound far away, even when they are beside you, the kind where every breath feels borrowed. And here, at the edge, you might expect redemption. You might expect the world to pause, to apologize, to offer meaning. But it does not. Meaning is not handed to you. Meaning is what you claw from the inside of yourself. Some cling to debris. Some slip away quietly. Some people die with a stranger's name on their lips. Some die alone, which is perhaps the most human thing of all. Later, survivors will speak. They will say the ship was magnificent. They will say the night was beautiful. They will say the orchestra played. They will say they heard cries fade into distance. And the rest of the world will turn it into a story, as we always do, because stories are how we make horror small enough to fit in the mind. But listen carefully. The Titanic is not merely a shipwreck. It is a mirror. It asks you, what do you worship when you are safe? It asks you, who do you become when safety collapses? It asks you, do you believe your life is proof of your worth, or merely a temporary arrangement of luck? Because that is the true terror, not ice, not steel. The terror is discovering that civilization, your manners, your titles, your money, your beautiful words, can be erased by cold water in minutes. And what remains, when the world is stripped bare, is the naked human soul, trembling, bargaining, loving, selfish, courageous, ridiculous, sublime. A ship sank, but more than that, an idea sank. The idea that man is the master. And perhaps the final cruelty is this. Even after such a lesson, we return to our bright rooms. We build bigger ships. We toast again. Because forgetting is the most efficient engine humanity has ever built. So when you hear Titanic, do not picture only a grand staircase and elegant music. Picture a quiet question, asked in the voice of the ocean. Who are you when the lights go out?